Welcome to Bedtime Horror, your portal to scary stories. It was one of those typical nights of endless swiping on Tinder, and there he was. His name was Jake, and we hit it off right away, exchanging messages filled with laughter and shared interests. It wasn't long before Jake proposed we take our virtual connection into the real world, inviting me over to his place. I was intrigued but also cautious, so I hatched a plan to scout out his house before committing to anything. The address he shared led me to a quiet suburban street. As I approached, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The house stood in darkness, devoid of any welcoming glow. No neighboring lights, just an unsettling stillness in the air. My instincts kicked in, urging me to proceed with caution. A quick scan revealed only one car in the driveway and another parked in front, both eerily motionless. Despite the eerie ambience, I pressed on, curiosity fueling my determination. But as I reached the doorstep, a chill ran down my spine. I hesitated, staring at the ominous house. My gut screamed at me to turn back, but I took a deep breath and decided to play it safe. I lingered nearby, contemplating my next move. The silence was broken by the distant hum of an approaching car. Panic set in as I spotted the vehicle parking down the street. A quick glance at my phone revealed a text from Jake, signaling that he was ready for my visit. The situation felt surreal, and my senses went on high alert. The stranger from the car stepped out, surveying the quiet street with suspicion. Another message from Jake popped up on my phone, unaware of the drama unfolding. That's when I made a split-second decision, safety over curiosity. I bolted, finding refuge behind a neighboring house, watching the stranger's every move. As I caught my breath at home, I reported Jake's unsettling behavior to Tinder, hoping to prevent others from falling into the same potentially dangerous trap. The incident left me with an unsettling feeling, a brush with the unknown. Determined to unravel the truth, I enlisted my father's help. The following day, my father and I decided to check out Jake's given address. As we approached, I felt a mix of nerves and determination. A young woman answered the door, confused by our visit. Her name was Sarah, and she lived alone. No Jake. No sinister plot. My heart sank, realizing my mistake. I recounted my story to Sarah, who listened with empathy. The house was hers, and she had no knowledge of the person I had encountered on Tinder. The pieces fell apart, leaving behind a sense of vulnerability. With newfound responsibility, I reported the incident to the police. They took it seriously, investigating every lead. The unsettling encounter left me shaken, but the swift police response provided a semblance of closure. As days passed, the investigation continued, and the police intensified their search for the person behind the deceptive profile. The experience became a cautionary tale, a reminder to trust instincts when navigating the digital world. While the specter of Jake lingered, the ordeal taught me the importance of vigilance and quick thinking, transcending the realm of dating apps. I was home, swiping through profiles on Tinder when I stumbled upon Lisa's profile. The initial exchanges were promising enough to warrant a dinner date. I decided to meet up for dinner to see if the online chemistry would translate into the real world. I arrived at the restaurant, scanning the crowd for Lisa. And there she was, or so I thought. The woman sitting at the table looked nothing like the person in the carefully curated pictures on her profile. I'm no stickler for appearances, but this was a bit much. Nevertheless, I'm all about giving people a fair chance, so we started chatting. That's when things took an odd turn. Lisa was fixated on peculiar subjects. She delved into dream analysis, not the inspiring kind, but more like the bizarre midnight musings after devouring a large pizza. The conversation was so off-kilter that I decided to gracefully wrap up the date, citing the late hour. Paid the bill, bid her farewell, and headed home. Yet, that wasn't the end of this unsettling Tinder date. Lisa, undeterred by my lack of interest after the date, continued to text persistently, expressing a desire for another meeting. When I firmly declined, her responses grew increasingly intense, making me uneasy about the entire situation. Night fell, and I plunged into my usual deep sleep. However, an abrupt awakening awaited me. Something felt awry, an unsettling vibe that tugged me from my slumber. I heard creaking, footsteps perhaps, echoing through my home. Now, here's the thing, I live alone, and the idea of unwanted visitors wasn't something I entertained lightly. Clutching a baseball bat, I sneaked down the stairs, senses heightened. Each step echoed ominously in the silent house. As I reached the end of the stairs, an unshakable tension gripped the hallway. Room by room, I combed through, the oppressive silence broken only by the house's creaks. The bedroom, where this midnight investigation began, awaited. Pushing the door open, I found no intruder but noticed the window slightly ajar. A potential point of entry. Descending, the living room exuded disquiet. Shadows stirred, and muted sounds of the night intensified the unknown. The realization struck, the intruder might have slipped past during my descent. Yet, I found nothing, just the ominous silence. Chalking it up to post-date paranoia, I eventually shrugged it off. Morning arrived, but any sense of relief was short-lived. An unfamiliar number pinged my phone. My curiosity turned to shock as I opened a text containing a picture of me asleep in my own bed. Panic set in. Someone had invaded my privacy. My suspicions naturally turned toward Lisa, the odd date from the night before. Panicking, I reported the intrusion to the police, sharing every detail I could recall. The days following that disturbing revelation were marked by a heightened sense of vulnerability. The police investigation yielded frustratingly few leads, and the unease settled like an unwelcome guest in my own home. Lisa, or whoever she really was, seemed like the prime suspect. It couldn't be a coincidence that after an offbeat date, my personal space was violated. The chilling photo served as a stark reminder that someone had been in my home while I lay defenseless in slumber. I chose to get an alarm, hoping it'd bring back a bit of safety to my home. After that, I attempted to push the intruder out of my thoughts and act like everything was normal. But forgetting was tough, and I ended up avoiding dating apps for quite a while. Thanks for watching, and I hope this story was to your liking.